Welcome to the Landlady Listens. The podcast where we talk all things real estate, development, and the mindset it takes to build your dream life.
Okay, hey guys, it's Landlady.
I'm your host, Meg Hayden, real estate broker, new construction expert, and a believer in making big visions into a reality. So if you're ready to build it, dream it, and live it, let's dive in. Hey guys, it is Meg Hayden from the Landlady Listens. I'm so excited for this podcast. I have these wonderful women on the show. Today we're going to be talking about flipping properties. And I think it's super important to be able to see other females flipping. So I can't wait to talk to these ladies about their story, how they got into it, what we need to know, what we need to budget for. And yeah, without further ado, here they are, and they're going to introduce themselves. Hi, girls.
Hi.
Hello.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Do you want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. All right. My name's Allyson Sabbagh. I am a loan officer with Seacoast Mortgage, and I own investment properties as well, and I also flip houses.
Cool. How'd you get into it?
I got into it because mortgages kind of hit the fan after COVID, and the interest rates went up, and it wasn't that great. So I was like, what else can I do? I mean, I had my investment properties, but those kind of run themselves because I have yearly leases, and I was like, what do I do? So I was approached by somebody, asked me if I wanted to flip a house, and I was like, sure, because I had renovated all my investment properties, and like a couple of them I did one at a time, but other ones I did it all at once. And like when you're renovating 4 apartments at once, it's like, it's crazy. So he knew I was like capable of doing it, and I don't know, it was fun. So then I just decided to keep going with it.
Awesome. All right.
Yep.
And tell us a little bit about introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leidy James, and I am the owner of Lena's Home Improvement. And I started my journey in 2020, and I started as a realtor. And of course, the pandemic hit, and the market kind of shifted. And then I seen myself kind of like in the supply and demand, like the market was saturated with realtors, but there was a high demand for general contractors. And that's kind of how I fell into it, just getting mentorship through the building association and other contractors, connecting with them. And that's kind of how I started with the flips.
Awesome. And what was your first project? Like, how did you go into that? What were some of your mistakes or lessons?
I would say when you're first getting into it, like as I said, I renovated my investment properties, so it's different. It's different because it's, you know, there's a lot of money on the line. Like, so there's different ways for you to finance the project. Like, I basically use my equity lines from my investment properties to buy the house, or you can use hard money. But I got a really good rate, like the initial like start-in rate for my equity lines. So I don't know, it just felt like there was a little more like riding on it, because like it was just, you have to pay the juice on it every month, and you're like, I don't know, there's more riding on it than an investment property. Rehab.
When you talk about juice, are we talking about orange
UK.
juice, or for the listeners, right? Because I think a lot of people are really, they're starting, they want to like understand all the words.
Yeah, so I call it juice. I don't even know how I started calling it
everyone
that.
calls it
Do
juice.
they really?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like
apple
a
juice,
slang.
orange juice.
Yeah, so it's basically like the payment you have to pay every month on the loan, and it's interest only. So you're not even paying down the principal, it's interest only. So anyway, the issues, I mean, I had a partner on the first one, and, you know, sometimes it's hard to have a partner, and, you know, you differ, and, you know, that, I mean, he was using some of his subs, and I was using some of my subs, and sometimes it doesn't work like that, and it's just, yeah, I think that was, like, a big thing, and I think going into the next one, I did another one with him, and we learned from our mistakes, and it just got better. I mean, every one you do, you learn like it's basically like going to like getting a college education. Like it really is. Like the last one that I did, like I literally felt like I went to college again, and it's better because I feel like in college I wasn't really the focus
on
to
the line.
studying.
You're like, we really got to get this on the market.
And the studying was like kind of secondary to like the social aspect, I think.
Yeah.
So I think you learn from your mistakes.
How about you?
My first project was very interesting. Similar, I ran into a lot of roadblocks. It was a hoarder house, and it was actually a condo. So, like, we came into a lot of issues with them. We had done, like, some different builds in the house. And, like, for instance, the bathroom that we did, there was a window that was in the bathroom, and we closed it off because it was, like, building code. And the condo association, like, when we had put it on the market, they made us go back and take that wall down because every unit had to be the same. And I just think, being able to problem solve, being able to have different resources and different people that you can call when you have a roadblock is extremely important. And I think it's okay to ask questions.
For sure.
I think it's okay to use your resources, especially in Rhode Island, And I just think, like, the power of networking in Rhode Island is really powerful, and people around you want to see you do good. And I just tell people to, like, harness that energy, and it's okay to ask questions because every flip is different,
yeah. It's like, I mean, in real estate, it's like every single day I'm learning. You have to be a solutions-based individual because there's always something that's going to come up.
There's always a problem.
There's always a solution.
Yes, exactly.
So it's just like the quicker you can do that and the quicker you can say, all right, here it is, like face it, do the elephant in the room, and then let's keep it moving. Let's figure out what the solution is super important. So budgeting, I feel like that is a huge thing when people go to buy a property. What are you supposed to, like, what are your numbers supposed to be? What do you typically look for?
Do you want to go first this time?
You can go.
Okay. Things are so expensive now. Like when I first flipped my first house, like it was so much less expensive than it is now. Just like the supplies, like the lumber and stuff like that. So my budgeting is now I have like my subs that I use. So like I know I'm like pretty set on like every price that I know. So once you get comfortable with somebody and they know you're going to keep giving them work, like you pretty much have a set price with them. And then in terms of like everything else, I just walk through the house, make a list of everything it needs. And then I know now because I've done it so many times that I just assign a price to everything. And then I, add, I don't even know. It's kind of, I don't really have like a math like solution to it, but I definitely add at least like 10 to 20 grand on top of what I think it's going to be sometimes because just things come up. Like you don't know, like the exterior stuff. I never used to budget for exterior stuff and not, cause that's like not something that was even on my radar, but that's like another, if you're doing a patio or you have to do the front stairs, you have to put all the landscaping, like
fixtures.
Oh my God. The landscaping on the last house I had to do was so expensive and I just like didn't put it in. I learned from that. So it's, I'm not afraid to say, and I think it's important when you're saying like ask questions. I think it's really important to throw your hands up and be like, I messed up on that. Like, gotta be better the next time. And like ask somebody, and ask the questions and just like keep learning as you go. Because I think a big mistake is if you don't ask questions, like then you just do it. You could make another mistake and it could lead to more things. Like for example, like my subs, like, and you also need to be there every day. I know I'm like kind of getting off topic, but like you need to be there every single day with the people because they're not always going to call you to like ask you, hey, like, should I put the plug here or and they're just going to do it. And you're going to be like, why did you do that? And then that's like more time. You know what I mean? It's really important to do that because that could also like impact the budget as well if you need to keep changing things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or even the timeline. And then,
for sure.
Yeah. And
for
now
sure.
you have higher holding costs and definitely do your due diligence, like go in there with like, I like pre-print like a checklist after every time that I've done a flip, and then I'll add, like, for instance, like how you said, exterior to the list. So it's like, because it's a lot to remember.
It is.
All these little things that go into the house. And I just think, being able to have a roadmap for that and like being able to be like a problem solver. Like that's what we are every day. Like being on site, someone's always coming to you, asking you questions. What should they do? How should they handle it?
Yep.
And being on top of your subs, like making sure like, okay, well, you said you were going to do X, Y, and Z in this deadline. Why aren't we meeting it? And like sometimes we have to like, we have to bring in the muscle and we have to, like let them know we are serious. This is a lot of money on the line and we need to do the work the right way too so it can get sold.
Yeah. I keep an Excel spreadsheet. That's what I do. Yeah. I like keep an Excel spreadsheet. I have it on my phone and like I just have a list of everything and put a price to it. And yeah, the timeline's super important to keep your subs on track.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the subs and the timeline.
Yeah, I think creating a really good relationship with your subcontractors and definitely showing them appreciation that they're not just workers, they're not just there like people use the word minions, like they're not just there to run around and do stuff for you.
So rude.
But I truly believe that people want to see you do good. And when you have contractors who understand the process and who have been involved in different projects with you, their heart is in it too.
100%.
And that's where the backbone is. And they want to get you to the finish line. So
it's the same thing with like real estate. You don't want it to be transactional, right?
Yes.
Like you want to keep a relationship with your client. Like our mortgage clients are, you're an agent for the client. Like you want to make sure they'll refer you to people. Like it's the same thing. It's just with any relationship, you have to make it not transactional. Like I'll bring like coffee to them. I'll bring lunch to them and like I'll eat with them. And like, it's like, you want to make it's a team. And like, I remember, I'll never forget this day. Like my carpenter, who's been with me for a while, and he literally looked at me in the eyes and he was like, I want to see you succeed. And it made me like, I'm like, it was just like such a nice thing to hear. And like, he grabbed my arm and he like looked at me because like we were like, I was like arguing with someone and then he was like he's helped me too because he's been in it for longer than I have. And again, like asking questions, I'm not going to pretend I know something that I don't. Yep. And so he's like helped me a lot. And yeah, it was like, it was such a good moment and it felt like we were a team.
I love that.
Yeah, it was great.
And we did talk a little bit about that yesterday, just about building your team and like how important it is. The reason that I started this podcast was because I work with a lot of developers and I'm always like the only at the table. And I feel like it's really important to know what your strengths are and know that like there's other people that are going to be helping you and supporting you to bring that team together, whether it's like the finances or the construction or what have you, that it's super important to build your team and to build that like camaraderie as well. So in terms of your subs, like for people who are starting off and they want to flip, like who are the subs that you're going to need, like the subcontractors?
I think a good way to find subcontractors is to go to the building association events because they provide a lot of resources and feedback, and the president over there right now is a female. Like, I emulate her. I think she's awesome.
Oh, my God.
I didn't even
come
know
on the
that.
show.
Yeah, it's great.
And that was the first room that I entered where I was surrounded by other women in construction. And I have made very beautiful relationships with them still. Other female contractors. I met a female arborist, female HVAC. And it kind of gives you like that, like empowerment. Wait,
a what?
HVAC.
No, the other one.
Arborist.
What's that?
Oh, that's so funny.
Trees and stuff.
That's what I thought. Okay, I was like, we're talking about plants, right? I am.
She will come through and help you.
I am having a conservationist come on after you guys. I'm very excited.
Oh my God. That's so funny. I don't know, just a side note, my dad was like helping me like landscape the last house I did because he loves landscaping. And I had a landscaper already and he just was over there. And I was like, can you leave him alone, let him do his thing? And he came in, he was like, I'm an arborist. And I was like, are you? That's so funny. I've never heard someone use that word
other than an arborist.
Other than an arborist.
Shout out to Regina Costa. She's the arborist.
I love that.
But yeah, I think being comfortable going to networking events and meeting other people in the trade kind of is a good starting point to make those connections and get your name out there.
And referrals, like also in terms of like being like, hey, you worked with this person, like, are they good? I think it's always super important to back that up because on social media, everyone can be like amazing, and then they come and then you hear like from this person or that person, they're like they're terrible, and I'm like, oh,
absolutely,
good to know, good to know. So all right, so when you guys are doing your subs, like so when you go walk through a property, we are demoing the property, and then like who's coming in, like what does that timeline typically look like?
Yeah. You can
go. So yeah, you demo, and then like.
Do you demo?
Yeah, I demo. I do demo.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I have
you should do a demo.
I do too. I have videos. Yeah, I have videos. Got my little aloe outfit on. I'm like trying to get sponsored by aloe.
We'll tag them. Aloe. You're gonna be tagged. You could be a sponsor, aloe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's fun to demo. You got to get your frustration out. It's so fun. Yeah, it's so much fun. So yeah, you demo, and then so the subs you need a
So
plumber.
Demo day, we're also getting a
dumpster.
Dumpsters in there.
Always get a bigger dumpster than you think you need, right? Like it's literally. I didn't think I was gonna go. I think I went through like at least 25 30-yard dumpsters, which is like the biggest one in the Jamestown house I just did. It was a bigger house, but it's like it just accumulates so much trash.
Exactly.
You don't even know how much. I'm like, where is this all coming from?
So how many dumpsters?
I had like probably 25 dumpsters.
And then 25 dumpsters
insane.
each
It's
insanity.
Insanity.
But that's
insane.
That's the other thing.
30-yard too.
That's the other thing you had to think about. Like each dumpster is what?
They're like Andrew box 30-yard.
Yeah.
So you're like thousands of dollars. Like figure 25, almost $25,000 in dumpsters.
Crazy.
Yeah, just to get a clean slate.
Just to start.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then like some of the companies, well now like, as you get relationships with, every company, like, your subs and everything, but they don't, they charge you like per week. Mm-hmm. They kind of waived that for me. I was like, oh, thank you so much.
Is it my aloe outfit?
No, it was the sheer quantity of how many I was getting. They were like, okay, we're not going to have her pay that juice.
All right, so we're doing the dumpsters, we're demoing, and then who's coming in?
I would say I try to have like a project manager on site to definitely coordinate the different subcontractors. I would say after demo, probably your painter, who's gonna go in and like clean everything up and start there. Like that's usually what I do.
Painter?
I have a person who does that. Like I don't. He's not my painter, but he's like I have a person who comes in and like helps me with the demo and he helps clean everything and stuff like that. But like the sequence of events for when I'm doing it, I get the subs in there. You get the plumber, HVAC, electrician, and usually towns want you to sign off on the subs first, and then you get the framing inspection. I had the house. I redid the first floor. I mean the second. Well, I did the basement. In the house I'm doing now, so the walls had to be up for them to like put the electrical stuff in there. So I had it all framed, but then the towns want you to get the subs signed off on before the framing.
So when are you contacting? Like, what are your what's the communication with the town? So like we're obviously like getting a permit for even beginning.
Yeah, most of them. All of them have like online portals. You pull it. They ask for stuff. You submit the plans if you're doing anything different. The windows need to be a certain, rating. Like there's rules to everything, and that's another thing that you learn as you go, because like if you put in the wrong window, that's more time, that's more money and more time, because the lead time on windows is sometimes 4 weeks. So you just got to make sure you're looking up everything up front if you don't know. And there's some things that you don't know that you don't know. Yeah. Especially when I first started, like I was like, what's a window rating? Like tempered glass, like just like things that you just wouldn't know unless you are like in it. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So for females that are starting off and flipping, what are some of the considerations? Like, so when you're buying the property, right, you're buying it at a certain percentage, or a certain number, then you're adding on the costs. Tell us about some of the costs that we don't think of, like, closing cost. I think people don't necessarily think of, or the amount that you're doing for like hard money lending and stuff like that. And then also, like, are you guys looking at like 6 months for a reno, or like what's the timeline that you usually think of when you're going to be there every day for like 6 months too?
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on the size of the project that you have, you know, like for instance, that big project that you had going on, you know, it can vary, and you want to make sure that, you know, the amount of time that you have with the permit also comes into effect.
The permit?
Yeah. So like how long you have it for. And I just think trying to put those moving parts all together. But I would say 6 months is a good timeline for someone to budget for a full reno flip, like demo, then putting everything back together.
Yeah, I think it's totally project dependent. Like the one that I have on the market right now, I put an ADU in there, and I had architectural plans for the house. Like, it was a huge project, so that took me a year. Probably would have taken me less time if I didn't run into all the problems that I ran into. But as I said, that was a real education for me.
What were some of the issues that came up?
As I said before, I don't pretend to know things that I don't know. I'm just not that person. So that was a massive project, and you know, I was blessed to get the house. There were 200 people that went to the open house. Like, I ended up getting the house. It was amazing, and I was so excited. And I originally thought I was going to live there. And then I decided I wasn't going to live there because it's me in like a 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom house.
Which is on the market in Jamestown. It's beautiful. If you want to live on an island and have an ADU, have the income. It's huge. It's absolutely beautiful. So you should all take a look at it.
Yeah. So I wanted a general contractor, like, who was like, I wanted a builder who's done it like a million times. I just got kind of screwed over by 2 of them. I had one, and then I had the other, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do this myself. And then my friend helped me as well. And we brought it to the finish line. There were just things that, like, this one guy, he put house wrap on the house, and it was not ready for house wrap. Like, I ripped the siding off, and we weren't ready to, like, we had to fix the exterior before we sided the house. But he put house wrap to, like, hide. There was rot behind there. I'm like, how is that behooving you? I'm going to pay you to fix it. So why would you try to hide something like that? So I had to, like, literally check everything. Obviously, I fired him after that. And I had to, like, you know, when double
how can you trust?
Yeah, the trust is gone, and all the
and you
things.
also, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it's your name on the line. So whoever you hire to like do the work, and then you're the one that's gonna get the calls. You're the one that's gonna get the letters from the attorneys if there is any.
Exactly.
So,
and it's not hard. It's very easy to get your contractor registration in Rhode Island.
It is.
It's
scarily
stupidly easy.
It's stupidly simple. It's like literally a 4-hour class,
which is scary.
Yeah.
So, like, there's people out here saying that they're contractors with 0 experience, or if they have experience, they work for a company, they don't have experience with, like, you know, leading a project on their own. Like, there's just so many situations that, like, you need to make sure you check and, like, vet people before.
Yeah.
And even if they're vetted, it's like, you just like, you just really need to watch yourself in this, because there's so many things that can go wrong.
I agree.
And it's such an important thing. Like, it's just like that the house is built correctly, and it's safe, and all the things.
Absolutely.
So
what else do you guys want to tell first-time flippers? If you were like, tell your first-time flip, what would you say? You'd be like, Allyson, girl, do this. What would you tell yourself? What would you tell yourself on your first flip? Or just like maybe even like
do some self-care. Make sure you add self-care into it. I think you can get so consumed with the project and working woman.
This is female flippers. She's like, have my windows come in? Are my windows in yet?
I cannot miss this call. I cannot go to voicemail.
No.
But yeah, I think you can get really consumed in the work and in the final project. And I think you can get so fixated on making everything perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be just right. And I think telling yourself that you're doing the best that you can, and that you're treating yourself good and your team well. And I think that's really important, is to, don't be so hard on yourself.
I totally agree. I'm like, I mean, even just being in real estate, it's like everyone wants everything from you. And especially, I'm sure on a job site, like you have to make a million decisions a day and keep everybody like on track. And so, I mean, we talked about this too. It was really about like, self-care. And part of my self-care is meditation and just walking. And like, I haven't been doing that lately because I felt terrible for the past 2 weeks, but I just really needed, like, it's like those are the things that you end up putting to the wayside because you're like, I'm so busy. And it's like, no, this is the foundation of everything that you do. And if you don't do it, you can't make good decisions. You can't make peaceful, calm, conscious decisions if you're frantic. I also think that the
people around you start to feel your energy. And I love everyone that's in my circle, and they'll come up to me and they'll be like, hey, you were off the other day. Like, is everything okay? And I'm like, oh, you're doing a check-in with me? Because, like, usually people come to you with their problems, you know? But I'm like, I am okay. Thank you for asking.
I know. So how many flips have you done?
I've been on a bunch of projects. Probably, I would say like 10 or so. Not too many. But I absolutely love what I do.
10 more than most people.
Yeah, I absolutely love what I do.
10 more than the girl who wants to do it and hasn't done it.
And anyone who has the drive and the passion can do it. It really is about being resourceful, and like, it's a whole team. You know, no one's flipping their house by themselves.
Right.
You
like
know?
You could be like the interior designer.
Yes.
You could be the one who designs. You could be the one who does the construction. You could be the one who is the realtor who like knows the numbers. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really important to realize that there's a lot of different capacities that you can be in, and that you just need people to surround yourself with, the best team. Like if you like someone's design, it's like, all right, I want your design. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So something we were talking about yesterday was about women in construction and some of the stats that you had. So can you talk to us a little bit about that?
I was just doing some research, and I kind of...
She's back.
Los Santo.
Home Depot.
Yeah.
She's like, the credit card number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm like, the people in your office are hope you didn't write it down.
You know, like...
Yeah. No, Mike Carpenter was at Home Depot doing a phone sale.
Love it.
Yeah, so he needed to have my credit card.
We got it.
I might as well just give him authorization, honestly. I trust him that much.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be an authorized
He
user
really
on it.
tugs at my heartstrings that I want to see you succeed.
Or have just a designated person to do phone call sales.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm usually available, but
Here we are.
here we are.
So we were just talking about, she had some really awesome statistics that I thought
Okay.
that you could give us.
Yeah, I had just looked up a few things because I know a lot of people have been asking about, is flipping profitable? Is it still something that people are doing? And just in Rhode Island, since 2018, the amount of houses that are on the market from flipping went up 8%. And then the other statistic was the amount of money that people have made in flipping. And they had an average, and it was they did the study in like 2023 to 2024. So in like that 1 year period, it was $115,000, which was like the average amount of money that someone had made from flipping properties. And I think, it's super important to we're in Rhode Island. We need to understand Rhode Island's demographics. We need to understand the market that's in Rhode Island. And I think, comparing it to other states, or, how they give you the national average and stuff like that. It's like,
It doesn't matter.
Hone in on where your stomping ground is,
Right.
And that's kind of the first thing I did when you had talked about the podcast, and I'm so grateful to be tagged in that post because I met two most amazing women today.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I just think it's showing and highlighting like our skills and that we can be in the room and we are capable of doing this, and it's a male dominated world.
Totally.
You know, I always make the joke like I thought real estate was male dominated, and then I went into general contracting and I'm like, whoa, this is, you know, I'm usually the only woman on site. Also, I'm usually the only, you know, like woman that's like, you know, project manager or running around or telling the guys what to do. Like they come to me and like, oh, hi boss lady. Like, I love that. And I'm like, get back to work.
Great.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, boss. It's great.
I'm like, that's right.
Yeah.
So, anything else that you guys, any other pieces of advice that you have before we go?
I would just say if like people are interested in getting into flipping, like I would say the first thing that you should do is really research the market. I mean, I have friends who live in Miami and they're like, oh, let's flip a house together. I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't know the Miami market. I'm not going to pretend to know the Miami market. Like, and Florida scares me in general with that kind of stuff. So I'm like, you got to stick to what, you want to just like stick to what you know. Like, I think like I've pretty much grown up in Rhode Island. So like I know the market here. But I think doing market research is like, you know, that's number one.
Well, I think that's where it's like really important to like have a real estate agent on your team that is vetting the property before, like that you're looking at all the numbers and not, I'm bad because I'm like, this is worst case scenario.
Yep.
Like you
No,
want
that's
worst
good.
case scenario
Yep.
because otherwise it's like I'm selling you. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like, oh, sorry, we were off
You
like
want them to
20 grand.
succeed.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. And so for me, I'm like, this is the lowest. And actually, my broker James, he was showing us like even just like price per square foot. What he does is he on MLS he does like, let's say the property is 1,400 square feet. So you actually look at properties that are exactly 1,400 square feet and below, and then you do 1,400 square feet and above, and that's how you get your like really, really, really true comp price per square foot, so that you know like max, or like minimum, this is what you're getting.
It's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh, awesome. So the last question, there's two questions that I have for you ladies. So what is your mantra?
I mean, mine's simple. It's just, I pray and I just say, God is good, God is great all the time. And anytime I'm having like a bad day or something, like it's literally written like right here, like that's my mantra. I just put a lot of faith in God and I know things will come into fruition and I just got to stay positive and resilient.
Love that.
Yeah, that's great. I would just say that there's a solution to everything. That's pretty much how I've always operated. Whenever somebody tells me no, I'm like, okay, that's not the answer. That doesn't exist.
Right.
So that's kind of that's been my mantra for a long time.
One other question I had for you guys too is there any type of technology that you use or like apps that you use on the construction side to kind of help you in any way, any kind of technology?
I should probably get better with that, but not really. I use the Home Depot app and the Lowe's app all the time.
In your Excel.
Yeah, in my Excel spreadsheet. I use the Excel, yeah, but no, not really.
How about you?
I'm obsessed with ChatGPT.
Oh,
well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because I've been able to
everything.
recreate images for clients. And for example, when
Ooh.
you're in a demo and there's no kitchen, you can kind of create the image and then you create the image in the client's brain and they're like, oh my God, like I had this one guy and he's
thought
like,
of that.
I'm obsessed. Like he wanted his whole house changed to green and it was like white. But he couldn't decide like what color shutters or like what color the front door was. So I just uploaded it into ChatGPT and his mind was like blown. And he was telling all the subs, he's like, only Leidy can do that. Like,
Yeah, she can.
I felt like a
Because she was-
superwoman.
No, but no,
You are a
like
superwoman.
you are a superwoman because like let's be real, like a lot of the contractors, flippers, or even developers, like they don't even have a website, they don't even use email,
Yes.
like they are not, you
So
know what I
behind
mean?
the times.
It's not, yeah. So I think that's great because I think people love to look at what the end product is, and they need to be like visual with it.
A lot of people can't see the end product.
I can't
and
either.
That's why, if you're going to flip a house, you kind of need to have that vision.
Yeah.
Like I took out the ceilings in the one I'm doing now because I was like, it's really like small in here. I think it would feel a lot bigger if I took the ceilings out. Like my
Game
first
changer.
flip, I never would have thought to do
Right.
that. And like, so, it's experience and you have to be able to see the end product.
Awesome. What book are you guys reading or podcast are you listening to right now? Anything?
I use Audible, and I do read or listen a lot. I've been
anything
getting
good?
into fiction, but recently, I reread stuff all the time, but obviously Robert Greene, like he's an awesome author, and he recently had a book out that he wrote with 50 Cent, and it's The 50th Law of Power. And his
50
book
Cent.
too,
He's
Hustle
so
Harder,
funny.
Hustle Smarter. This man is a genius. Like, I learned so many things from reading his book, and I'm like, if you want to make money, these people who are affluent, who have written books, that's a blueprint for you. So why are you not tapping into that?
$20 investment.
Exactly.
It's not rocket science. Like
Yep.
I've been reading, I love like Dan Martell, Buy Back Your Time.
Yep.
So like for instance, like even when I started the show, he's like, all right, you have to like stack all the things that you're doing, right? So like he's like, so if you're doing media or like you're doing your podcast or your show, stack that the entire day. And I was like, oh, that's like brilliant because it's like you got the lights on, you got the cameras on, you got your outfits, you're all good. And then you just stack everything because you're in the same mindset rather than going from like show to like showing to this to that. And just, so I loved like Dan Martell. I would definitely recommend Buy Back Your Time. He's like fantastic. But how about you, Allie? Podcasts
I
or
honestly,
music? I don't know.
No,
Whatever.
I don't. I really need to get into reading. Every time I say I like don't, maybe I'll start that book. I just feel like I'm in the car a lot, so that would be helpful to like just listen to it.
Yeah.
Because even if I don't, I feel like reading sometimes makes me fall asleep.
Oh, I'm with you. Because like when I did like 75 hard last year, and I failed it like pretty much every 5 days, but restarted it.
It's hard.
Well, it is hard.
75 hard.
75 hard is hard, so I do like 75 easy, but I'm like keeping it
Medium.
light. Yeah, I keep it like light. So, but again, like part of it is reading 10 pages a day, and Dan Martell talks about like how reading is so important.
Yeah.
And I feel like in such a busy time, like we're all like so busy. I mean, we don't really need to be like as busy as we are, I think, but
We need to slow down.
we need to slow down. And I think it's really important to like, that's why I meditate in the morning, because it's just like, how is my day gonna go? Like even just like thinking about like my day's gonna be awesome today. I'm gonna see this person, I'm gonna see that person, and just like thinking about your day and coming to that place of peace. And then but then reading too, it like, I'm so ADD too, and I'm like, I don't like reading necessarily, but I force myself to read because it allows me to slow. Like it's like practicing slowing down. So, do I do it every day? I always say, like Dan Martell always says, he's like, you could start a diet like halfway in between a bag of chips, and it's true. So you can start tomorrow. Anything. Everything. You can start it like tomorrow or today or like right now. And so, so reading is definitely something that like I want to reincorporate because you feel so proud of yourself. Like after 10 days, you're like, I read 100 pages. That is amazing.
I think that's exactly how I'd feel.
Yeah, I was like, I am so impressed with myself.
How big is the font?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter.
I know, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah, like some books, you're like, oh, these 10 pages just fly by.
I
but
read
like,
2 books to my cousin's kid. Does that count?
I think it does.
Okay.
It definitely does.
It definitely does.
Put her to
Absolutely.
sleep.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I wanted to thank you guys so much for coming on the show today. Something that I already told the ladies that we're doing is we're gonna do a flipping tour. So we're gonna go to the flips that you're doing or have done, so that we can like see your designs on just to see it in like real life. And I think that would be like so much fun and super powerful, and we'll probably get some sales out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for having us.
Oh my
Thank you
God.
so
Thanks for
much.
doing this podcast.
Yes.
You're doing the Lord's work over here.
You're welcome.
Keep it up.
Got you. Got you, God. No, but I think it's really important to like bring people together. And there were days that I was like, what am I doing? Why am I even like filming this thing? And I mean, in reality, I think it's really important to like, number one, I think it's really important to like you don't have conversations with people that are like, and talk to them about like what they're interested in and what they're passionate about for like a period of time. And I think that that's like super fun, but I think it's also super educational. And like you said the last time, she was like, oh, I love your podcast. She's like, I totally stalked you on YouTube. She's like, but you have like people of like women and people of color and like everybody, and you're talking about manifestation. And I think like you can have all the things, we can be all the things. And I think it's really important to show different faces and hear different stories about where everyone got to, how they got there. And again, like you said, even like reading a book of somebody who's already been there, like even watching this for a little bit of time, you're like, okay, I just saved myself 10 grand by knowing like the windows.
Exactly.
Right?
No,
like
it's
how much
true.
the windows are.
Yeah, and I really do love you, Meg, because I remember you said, I forget when you said this to me, but you're like, I come from a place of like abundance. And it's true. You want to see, I've like over the past year, I just want to be around people who want to see me succeed, and I want to see them succeed.
Because you succeeding doesn't take anything away from me.
No, not at all.
No.
There's like there's enough for everybody. Yes. So like that's what I love about you.
No.
One of the things.
No, thanks. I appreciate you guys. So thank you guys so much for coming on the Landlady Listens. I hope that this inspired you. I hope that you share it. Please reach out to these beautiful ladies. How do we get in touch with you?
Email, text.
Tell them what it is.
Oh, ALLYSON at seacoastmortgage.com. And my number is 774-254-2985. And I mean, I would be happy to even just like answer questions about just my experience and share subs and whatever.
Cool. We love that. How about you?
Social media, girl. You can find me definitely on Facebook, Instagram. You can even go on my business page, Lena's Home Improvement. And my phone number is 617-792-5744. And I would love to chat with anyone.
Thank you, guys. All right. We'll see you next time on the Landlady Listens. Like, subscribe, and please share it, like, for real. We would really appreciate it. Love you.
Thank you.
Bye. That's it for today's episode of The Landlady, where we turn your vision into a reality. Remember, success starts in your mind before it ever shows up in your life. Keep believing, keep building, and more importantly, keep taking action. And until next time, trust the process, bet on yourself, and go create the life that you deserve. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Love you.